All right, so in the recording, you guys should just be able to see me because I'm spotlighted. All right, so we're gonna start seated. Find your comfortable sitting position, okay? It can be sitting normally with the legs crossed. It can be seated over your heels if you want. You can sit on a chair, on blocks. You all know now how to sit. So find whatever it's comfortable for you to be able to sit with your back straight and not rounded, right? So if you're here, just sit on something higher until you can find your neutral spine. Okay, and let's just breathe normal. Right, things under control. Keep breathing, okay. All right, so here we are. All right, if you've already breathed normally, you can start breathing to the side of the ribs, back, side, and forward. Expanding the ribs out to the side. And then since we're seated, let's pull that pelvic floor off the ground, sink, lift the abdominals with it. Breathe in to the ribs and relax everything. So pelvic floor releases again. Breathe out, pelvic floor, sink, lift abdominals with the pelvic floor all the way to the rib and feel that lengthening of the spine. Breathe in, release everything and expand the rib cage. Keep going. I see bandages on me. I see bandages on ankles. Okay, so if you have any issues, today we're gonna be on the floor mostly, but if you have anything, let me know, okay? Both of you with the bracelets. All right. The dog is having its field day with the bottle. Okay, so let's move the pelvis a little bit from the seated position. So breathing in, expand, breathing out. Let's round that pelvis back. Breathe in, lengthen the spine again, okay? So when you pull the pelvic floor and you pull the belly button, the pubic bone and belly button in, let's push the pelvis slightly back to the back of your sit bones and then lift from the crown of the head, restack head, ribs, and pelvis. Stay long through the spine, breathe out, pelvic floor round. So we're just releasing the back of the lower back. Then lengthen through the back of the body. Do one more. Finish it with a lengthened spine and change the cross of your leg. If you need to put your hand down and switch that way, if you can just use the core to lean back and switch, then lean back and switch. And then breathe in to lengthen. Give me a couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, use that pelvic tilt to go back and lengthen, right? So we switch the cross of the leg, lengthen, breathe out, round. Lift through the back of the neck. Think of crown of the head lifting you back up. It's gentle, so make sure you're not tightening the stomach. You're just hollowing to push the low back and then lift. 2 more. Stay always long through that spine. Okay, we're gonna bring the legs forward and we're gonna do our roll downs, okay? So if you have something under the pelvis, let's remove it. And let's bring the legs forward. Continue the tucking and the lengthening. So if you need to use your legs to pull into to lengthen the spine, do. Watch that you're not rounding the shoulders. So the elbows, the collarbone, the chest, all open out, right? And continue, grow tall, breathe out, round. So go a little further if you can. Breathe in, Keep the pelvis rounded. Come forward. When you feel the sit bones, you lengthen. Breathe out, pull round. Try to round through the pelvis, not the head. Pull and keep the pelvis lift. So don't drop the head, it's the pelvis. Go a little further each time. So you can see through my shirt how rounded I'm going. Stay rounded, pull and lift. Breathe out, pelvis. So roll to the back of your sit bones, keep scooping and rolling. Go further if you can. Keep the pelvis tilted. Scoop the abdominals. Look, see how I'm rounded. Come up. I find my sit bones. Now I stack into a straight line. I like the shirt. Helps me. Breathe out, pelvis. So if you've already got this and you want to reach the arms forward and not help with the legs, you can. Breathe in. Breathe out. Scoop. And lengthen. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out, roll. So if you want to come back up on a breath in, breathe to your upper rib cage. And imagine that the upper rib cage is filling with air and lifting you back up. So look how I end. I'm still rounded. Now I found my sit bones. Now I stack my ribs and head over the pelvis. And go. Give me 2 or 3 more. So for those of you who are stronger and can touch the sacrum, go for it. Quick breath into the ribs, or breathe in to scoop, scoop, scoop. Find the sit bones, sit up tall. Make sure your shoulders stay nice and wide. And you're not rounding through the shoulders, you're rounding through the whole torso. So don't bring the shoulders up to your ears. Last one. The last one, we're gonna stay down. So whenever you're doing this last one, take your time. Stay down, bring the hands to the ground, move your feet back, and keep the alignment of the heels with the sit bones. And let's go through our breathing again. So breathe into the back and side of the rib cage. So now you're pushing the ribs into the ground as you breathe in and expanding it out to the side. Breathe out, screw, pelvic floor, abdominals, lift. Watch that your ribs are not popping to the ceiling. Prop your head if you need to. Put the sponge behind your back if you need to, or the towel. Reach the hands down to the little toes. So reach shoulder scapulars, lengthen the neck back. If your shoulders are too tight, you can bend the elbows a little bit until you feel that the shoulders relax. Then just keep breathing. If anybody needs to adjust their camera so I can see you better, please do. And then nice and soft, right? So pelvic floor, hollow lift, without tensing things. It's a very soft sink and lift. Add the hugging of the hips, the waist, and the ribs. So closing that core set. Breathing in and out. Relax the shoulders and the back. Good. So Rania, I suggest a pillow or something, or roll your mat under your head so your head is a little higher. Your neck is a little bit tight, yeah? So you can either roll the mat that's under your head, or yeah, place something on your head so it's, that looks very comfy, okay. Good. So let's move the pelvis here. When you pull the pelvic floor and abdominals, you're gonna now tilt the pelvis, connect the hip bones to the ribs, and your butt is still soft, yeah? So it's not a butt squeeze, it's a lift of abdominals to connect with the ribs. Then you're gonna lengthen the waist, the tailbone, and the sit bones, and reach the pubic bone forward so there's an arch on the back now. Breathe out, scoop, imprint. Lengthen tailbone, waist, sit bone, then you arch. It's not a big movement. So using deep abdominal muscles, using lower back muscles to give you that tilt forward. Keep reaching your hands, keep lengthening the neck and the rest of the body. You should be getting really good at these if you're not already good at it. We do it every class. So now make sure you're scooping both sides of the abdominals to tilt the pelvis, right? And then you're arching both sides of your back muscles on either side of your spine. And if you can't feel it, keep lengthening first until the side that's not active activates. Hollow, 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 hollow. Feel both sides active, then you lift. Lengthen tailbone, lengthen waist, even if you need to use your hands. And then keep lengthening as you arch. And the weaker side should be more active. Dina, bring your hands next to you. Yeah, watch your shoulders and reach them so the shoulders are away from the ear. There you go. Now find your back position for today. It's either going to be imprinted, meaning your low back is on the ground, or pushing against your towel or sponge. And if you're a bit more advanced, you can go more into a neutral. So again, from the line of my shirt, you should see, this is my imprint, so my back is more rounded. This is my lengthening, where my back is a bit more straight. This will have your low back a little bit off the ground. Be careful, yeah? Chest and ribs are down. Let's go through our marches. So stabilize the torso by breathing out and really hugging that corset. One side stays down. So let's start floating with the right leg. You're gonna keep the left side stable, right leg floats. So when the leg goes up, hold it, breathe out, scoop the abdominals, connect the right hip to the rib, keep lifting the abdominals as the leg relaxes down. Breathe in, other leg. So watch that when my leg goes up, I don't ground the pelvis, yeah? It's still anchored, tailbone and pubic bone forward. It's just the movement of the leg. Scoop, lift the abdominals. As the leg goes down, you really work the core so the back doesn't arch. Keep going, I'm just reviewing. So leg floats, barely any movement, pelvis doesn't move. So the further back the leg goes, the further forward the pubic bone goes. So the pubic bone and the tailbone stay in the exact same place. They don't rock forward and back with the leg coming up and down. Last one on the left side when you're ready for that. And we're gonna go into our crunches. So are there any of you that cannot crunch up and down? You can continue the marches. If you need to support your head, bring the hands behind your head, lengthen the neck, and you can do your crunches from here. And then those more advanced can go arms to ceiling or arms next to the hips. You choose, okay? Whatever you decide, tuck your chin, lengthen the back of the neck. Now, let's push the ribs down and try to dig your bra line into the mat. You're gonna breathe out, hollow the abdominals, roll the head, keep digging the bra line into the mat, roll up shoulders and chest bone nice and wide, and your chin should be in looking right between your legs. So if you have an orange here, pull the orange towards your throat. Roll down, keeping the connection of the ribs and the pelvis. Don't pop the ribs to the ceiling and don't let the arms go too far back. Breathe out, hollow, push the bra line, roll the head first, keep holding that peach. Bringing the chin back and the ribs forward. And then keep the ribs connected, roll down one bone at a time. For those of you that want to take the arms further back, be careful that your ribs don't pop. Okay, so the challenge of the arms going further back if you want is not to pop the ribs. There you go. Just gonna watch you for a second. So tuck the chin, look over your knees first, hold that orange, and you're gonna pull the orange back. So the chin is coming back, the neck is going back and up, and the ribs are lifting you. Hollow the belly, don't push the belly to the ceiling. Use your rib cage, so dig into the back of the bra line to lift. Good. Add the marches. If you need a break, take a break, otherwise 6 more. Alternating the marches. So, watch that you're staying stable. And then when you come down, watch what's happening to the opposite side. So, the side of the leg that stays down, keep pressing, and the side of the leg that's going up, keep lengthening. That pelvis still, tailbone anchored. Both sit bones and both waistlines reaching forward. So make sure you're not rocking side to side or shortening the waist. Support the head if you need to. All right, when you finish your sit, just rest it down. Relax the arms next to your side. And we're gonna go into toe taps. Again, if you cannot do the toe taps, continue marching, okay? You're gonna breathe out, imprint. Keep the imprint, march one leg up. Breathe out, imprint again, and the other leg comes up as well. Now, knees closer to shoulders is going to give you more low back support. Away from shoulders is gonna really challenge your lower abdominals, but be careful with your back. Arms next to you reaching forward. Single leg relaxes down, keeping the 90 degrees. Breathe out, scoop, lift the abdominals to lower one leg down, and then bring it back up. You don't have to touch the floor. Breathe out. Keep breathing the whole time you're moving. Breathe in to pull it back. The back doesn't change. So when the leg goes down, the back stays deep, digging deeper. The abdominals push the back into the mat. Relax the hip flexors. Full breath out to go down. And then come back. Are you scooping and lifting the abdominals? Full breath out. Don't bend at the knee, yeah? You're not bending the knee. You're taking the whole leg away, maintaining that 90 degree. Maybe we tap, maybe we just move a little bit. Keep the back still. We're going to 10. So we might have 2 more left. If you're done, just hug your knees. Scoop, lift the abdominals first, then the leg relaxes. When you're done with your 8 to 10, you can hug your knees and rock side to side. Yeah, if you can't hug your knees, but you want to support your legs, you can hug behind your thighs, yeah? And then we're gonna march the legs back down one at a time. Watch that your back doesn't move. And we're gonna go into our bridges. So if anybody has anything on the back of their head, remove it, please. Feet parallel, sit bones width, okay? We still have the 90-ish degree of the leg. If you find this too far forward, you're gonna feel your hamstrings a little bit more. You can always bring it slightly back. Just don't go behind your knee, yeah? So just a little, slightly in front of the knee or a little bit more. Let's do pelvic tilts first, then halfway, then up. So we're doing 3 levels of bridges. Arms reaching and pressing. Breathe out, scoop, imprint. Now, dig the heel into the mat and squeeze the butt. Don't do anything. Once you squeeze the butt 100%, now try to lift just the tailbone off the mat. That's it. Breathe in, lengthen it back to neutral. Keep reaching the arms, lengthen the back of the neck. Breathe in, tailbone lengthens. Breathe out, scoop the belly. Dig the heel to squeeze the butt 100%. Then the butt is gonna lift just the tailbone up. The abdominals keep the spine down. Lengthen back to neutral. Keep going. Tuck your chin. Try to lengthen the back of the neck all the way to the tailbone on the breath in. Arms reach down. Breathe out. Keep the tailbone lengthening as you scoop. Squeeze the butt. Both sides feel the same. Tailbone lifts. Keep your waist slightly hugging. Breathe out. Hug the ribs. Squeeze the butt. Lift the tailbone. Okay? Now we're going to go halfway. So just the waistline. So if you glide your hands to the bottom of your ribs, just to here. Breathe out, scoop. Dig the heel, squeeze the butt. Roll the pelvis, but keep the ribs pressing down like the crunches we did. Knees forward, not collapsing, not dropping. Breathe out, roll one bone at a time, back down to the mat. Breathe in to lengthen. Breathe out. Scoop. Keep the ribs down, keep the tailbone lifting. So it's important to activate the butt before you lift to make sure you're lifting from that. 2 more, scoop, belly in, pubic bone higher. And then take a look up, come up, just lift your head a little bit and check. Are both my hip bones even or there's one dropping? The side that's dropping, squeeze that butt to lift the hip, the same level as the other one. Roll back down, okay? There's always one side that's a bit weaker, doesn't want to work. So if you're ready to go higher, go for it 3 to 4 more times. You're gonna breathe out, scoop, dig the heel, squeeze the butt, roll one bone at a time. Don't go past the shoulders and make sure you're always pushing from the butt. So if you look here, my pubic bone is up here, my hip bones are down here, not the opposite, so I'm not pushing from my low back. You're scooping and still rounding. At the top, you can lengthen from the tailbone, but keep the abdominals connected. Watch that your knees don't drop. Look on my hips at level. Breathe out. Chest first, then go from your esophagus. And lengthen one bone away from the other as you roll the pelvis down, back to neutral. Good? Breathe out, scoop and go. So I'm gonna watch you for a second. You're looking straight up. Your legs are straight, your knees and thighs are straight forward. Go as high as you feel that it's the pelvis rolling up. The abdominals are pressing and the pelvis lifting that tailbone up. On the way down, try to lengthen the spine maximum and drop one bone at a time, keeping the tailbone as high as you can. The tailbone is going to be the last thing to drop. Nice. And when you finish this last one, just hold it down and rest for a second. So from an upper bridge position, we're going to do a few heel raises, okay? Mona, if this is too much for you, just roll up and down. You don't have to do these, okay? So we're gonna come up halfway. So maybe if you make a fist and bring it right under the sacrum, maybe that's how high you wanna go, okay? From this position, we're gonna roll the heels up and down. If you're a bit far forward, you're not gonna have that much range of motion, but if that's better for your knee, that's fine. If you're closer in, under the knee again, you're gonna have a little bit more range of motion. So we're gonna do 10 of these. Please be careful. I wanna make sure that you're pressing through the big toe. Don't roll your feet out to your pinkies when you come up. So through the big toe, keep the heels aligned with your second toe. Okay, from big toe to second toe. So you're gonna do 10. Breathe in to lift or breathe out if that's easier for you. Keep squeezing the butt, hold the $100 bill, keep reaching the knees forward. 8, maybe. 9. Keep both hips up. 10, keep the heel up, roll down. Good. So let's keep the heels up and roll. Up, keep pressing the scapulas and arm and down. If your heel is not up, it's okay, just keep it down and roll. But keep it up and roll up and down. Again, you don't have to go very high. Go as high as it's okay with you. Good, keep reaching the thighs, squeezing the glutes. If you're slipping, you might want to put something under your toes. 4 to 5 rolls. Good, keep reaching the arms to the feet, keep the tailbone lengthened all the way to the crown of the head. Maybe last one. Down, good, drop the heels down. Good, bring your feet up, roll. Draw circles. So circles outwards, up, out, in. You can hold your thigh from the back of the thigh, then reverse the circles. Release the legs. All right, bring it down. Let's do some roll-ups. So we're gonna either straighten the legs out, for those of you who do the roll-ups with the legs straight, inner thighs together or hip width apart, depending on the tightness of your back, or knees bent. Remember that as well. Arms are gonna start up overhead. So stabilize the ribs. Let's go at about a 45-degree angle to get warmed up here. Shoulders nice and wide. So you pick your number. For those of you who know how to do it with the legs straight, go for it. For those who need the knees bent, okay, so if you're doing legs straight, look at the feet, they're not hanging out. Flex, reach the heels, so you activate the legs fully. Scoop the abdominals, press into the back of the rib cage, scoop, roll, find your sit bones anchor, lift the rib cage, go up and over, reaching the arms. So don't flex from the pelvis, keep the sit bones anchored. Breathe in to lengthen, breathe out, scoop the abdominals, pelvis takes you back. If you want to make it harder, your arms stay up, roll one bone at a time. So those of you with a tight back, remember you can put that rolled up towel under your low back. If you need help, you bend the knees, you roll, pull. When you come up, if you can straighten the legs, straighten, keep it bent. If you need to, lift. So notice that my pelvis is not coming forward with me. I'm stacking the pelvis, keeping it still. I lift the rib cage, and I imagine there's a big fireball in front of me. I don't want to touch that fireball. I want to go up and over it. Shoulders wide. When you come forward, don't bring the shoulders to ears. You're going to shift the scapulars forward from your outer arm. And then you're going to roll down. Press the legs, flex the feet, scoop the belly, one bone at a time. Arms reaching forward to help you or next to the ear to challenge. Good, give me two more. So now if your ribs are stable, of course your arms can start further back without dropping the ribs, popping the ribs. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Anchor the sit bones, lift the rib cage up and over the fireball. Glide the scapulars through the outer arm forward. Breathe in, breathe out. Roll back down, pull the shoulders back down. Press the legs into the mat. Push the legs. Bend the knees, Rania. Bend the knees and put your hands behind the thighs to help you come down. I want active feet, everybody. I want your heels to reach forward and your toes to reach up. There you go, Rania. Nice, nice. Good, that's it. One bone at a time. So work, hold the legs if you need to help you work your way down and up. All the way forward. Dina, I think your legs are too bent. Straighten the legs forward a little bit more. Yeah, take the legs away from you more. Even if you need to keep it bent, but not here. Good, so you have space to lift the abdominals and move forward. Coming down, you can use help here. There you go, nice. And then just stay down on this last one. Good option, Anya. Nice. So Fatma, you come up, you stay, you're still working, yeah? Still working, and then you come down. Don't change the shape of the body. Hold it down for a second, good, and keep it there. There you go. Yes, all right? Okay. Then we're gonna bring right leg into the chest, hands behind the thigh. Let's do single leg circles. Today I'm gonna do it with rotation for the spine. So my bottom leg is still flexed. Usually I like to start together so we know the position of the bottom leg so it doesn't pop out to the side. I bring the other leg, keeping this working so your inner thighs are working. If you cannot keep it straight, feel free to bend it. Right leg comes to chest and we stretch up to the ceiling. Flex the foot if you need to. Relax, bring it back down, okay? So breathing in, we stretch. Flex the foot if you need to. Relax down. So notice I'm not compensating. If I can't take it up, just take it as far as you can. I'm gonna show on this hip for you. Don't shorten the hip to stretch. Keep the pelvis long. Keep working as I talk. So the hip is long, so if you need to bend the other leg, it's fine. When you bend and stretch, we don't shorten the hip to try to stretch. Keep it in alignment. You're gonna hold it up on this last one. So if your knees bend, fine. Bend it as much as you need to. Of course, very few of us can do this. So if you don't do this, compensate. Just bend it as much as you need to. Arms next to you. We're gonna start bringing the leg across the body. So we're gonna bring it across the body. You're gonna keep your shoulders down and let the pelvis go with the leg. So my right shoulder is anchored. Then I'm gonna circle around. I still have my knee bent. At the center, I realign. I continue the circle to the side without my left hip coming up and back to center. Okay? So breathe in to bring it down. My right shoulder anchors. Breathe out, circle. Square the hip, take it to the side, challenging the left side and back to center. All right, and keep going. Let's do 4 to 5 on each side. My right shoulder is anchored. I bring it around. I'm still bent and bring it back up. Those more advanced with flexibility, of course, you can take the leg straight across, right shoulder anchored, around, stabilize the hip, continue the circle so this hip doesn't come up. Last one. Don't worry about the straight leg, worry about the alignment. Good, we're gonna reverse it. It goes out to the side without the pelvis moving. It goes circle down. Now I'm gonna kick the ball, let the pelvis go, and bring it back up. Knee bent, out to the side without moving the left hip. Circle, keep the right shoulder anchored. Bring it and back up. Okay, if you're getting any pain happening, don't rotate the pelvis as much. Okay, but it's very important that the shoulders stay completely anchored as you move. So as I go, it's out to the side, down, my shoulder stays anchored as my pelvis rotates. And the other leg is staying pressed down. This is probably 4 to 5. Yeah, finish it, hug the knee and hold it there. 1, 2 breaths, leg straightens out, and we bring the other leg in. So remember that, right leg is in alignment now with the sit bones, left leg comes up, hands behind the thigh, lengthen the waist and the sit bones, stretch it up only as far as you can. Flex the foot if you want, and then come back down. Keep going, breathe in, flex, release, good, good. And reach, flex, don't shorten the left waist. Last one. Okay, whenever you're ready to keep the legs up there, remember to keep it as bent as you want. It can be all the way to 90 degrees and arms to the ground. And we're gonna bring it across the body, keeping now the shoulder, left shoulder anchored. Circle down, stabilize the right hip. That's the core challenge here, and bring it back up. Okay? So, across the body. Oops, sorry. Leg goes, left shoulder stays on the ground. Bring it across, stabilize in center, continue to circle only as far as the right hip stays anchored. Breathe in, drop. Breathe out, circle. Challenge the core on the outer circle. 4 to 5 each side. Stabilize. So it's a lot of work on the right hip, right? Finish your last one. And we're gonna reverse it. We drop it out, we circle, we lift the pelvis, but keep the left shoulder anchored. Draw that circle, bring it back. Okay, so some of you may be feeling, I cannot lift it that much. That's okay, it's just lack of rotation that you need to work on. Stabilize the right side, drop it again. Let that leg move around the pelvis. For those of you who are doing with a straighter leg, keep that leg really into the hip joint. Last one. Let me check you guys out. Okay. Keep the shoulder anchored. Lift that pelvis up. Good. And then hug the knee when you're done. Good. It's supposed to feel good on your back. Supposed to. Good. All right, so you're gonna straighten the legs back on the mat, and we're gonna, so one at a time, straighten it and then roll into your belly. Okay, We're gonna do some back extensions, then we're gonna come up into the arms and do some arm work just to give a break to the body too and change position. So we're gonna start with this. Legs hip width apart. Feel free to bring them together if your back can tolerate. Otherwise, open hip width, tighter back, just go a bit wider. And usually your heels will drop inwards and your legs out, okay? So you pick whatever is comfortable for your back. Arms reaching, lift your belly off the ground. You can see from the white line on my jacket. I love this line. Lift and lengthen, yeah? So you're gonna lift the belly off the ground, lengthen the tailbone. Pubic bone comes on the mat gently and the rib cage on the mat. So now we're trying to lift the belly off the ground like the neutral on our back. Thumbs facing down, pinky reaching up and back. Scoop the belly in, lift your head off the mat. If your neck is uncomfortable, then you need to support something under your forehead. Let's just reach the arms to the feet. So squeeze the scapulas towards each other a little bit and reach the hands to the feet, tuck your chin and the back of the neck, skull, reaching forward. Release. Breathe in. Try to breathe to the ribs. Relax. Breathe in, lengthen. Relax. Now do it with a breath out and see if that's better. Breathe out. Pull the belly in, lengthen. Relax. Okay, so I need your head, the back of the neck and head to be reaching forward and the tailbone to be reaching back with the scapulas. Dina, palms of the hand face your hips. Yeah, so thumb down, pinky up. Good. Now let's all reach the arms and stay back there. Legs are pressing down, abdominals lifted. Squeeze your scapula. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Release everything down. Breathe out. Pull the belly in. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. Arms and scapulas down. Stay there. Squeeze your scapulas. Everybody should be looking down at the floor. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Relax down. Belly in. Reach the arms and the head away from each other. Now stay there. Keep reaching the arms to your toes. Grab your feet. Come on. And squeeze the tips of the scapulas. Go. Squeeze it. You have an orange. You want to squeeze, make juice out of it. And relax. So don't try to lift your hands up. Yeah? It's a squeeze of the scapula. Give me two more. Go. Reach, reach, lengthen the head forward, scapulas back. Now, at the bra line, squeeze the scapulas without the hands going up. The hands stay as low as you need it for the shoulders not to round. One more. Lengthen first, legs pressing down so we're not using the low back. Now squeeze, squeeze, squeeze that orange. Relax down, make a pillow with your hands and rest. We're not done. Good. Is Spencer licking your butt for now? Whoops, it's on video. I just see him going here. All right, let's extend. So 3 steps. We reach the arms, we lengthen the neck. Breathe out. Now you're gonna squeeze the scapula, shift the chest forward and try to, with the scapula squeeze, glide the arms even more down, shift the chest forward to lift the chest. The ribs don't come off the mat. Don't lift from your low back. You're lifting only from the upper back. So breathe in, lengthen and reach the arms. Breathe out. Squeeze the scapulas in. Keep the ribs on the mat. Chest forward, arms back, chest forward. And that should peel the chest off the mat a little bit and come down. From the rib cage to the pubic bone, nothing moves. Zero movement from the low back. It's from the lower, the ribs up. Keep going. Reach the arms and the legs on the breath in. Breathe out. Lift the belly. Reach the arms more and chest forward. Arms back, chest forward. Arms back, chest forward. Holding that orange. Nice, Hannah, that looks really good. Good, Magda, nice. If anybody's feeling anything on the low back, you're doing it wrong. The abdominals are lifting and supporting. The pubic bone and the ribs are on the mat. It's only from the rib, chest, upper back. Reach the arms back and chest forward to lift you. Good, come on, give me one or two more. These are the most important exercises we do. Come on, come on. Reach the arms back, chest forward, arms back, and pressing into the ribs. The chest is gonna keep moving forward and up. When you finish, make a pillow with your hands again. Good. Dina, don't lift the arms, just the shoulders. Yeah, the triceps working. Every class, same question. Okay, so just rest there for a second. We're gonna come up into a plank position. So when you're done resting, you're gonna bring the hands next to your shoulders and curl your toes in. Feel free to come up into a plank position on your knee, or if you're more advanced, lift the thighs up, tuck your pelvis, and push yourself up into a plank from a straight leg position. Okay, so pick your number. You can push straight up or slightly back. Slightly back, of course, is a little bit more helpful. Anybody with wrist problems, here you go. Shoulders down on the knees and hold your plank. So just stay here for a while. Let's go. Relax your toes, find your plank position. Hands are under the shoulders or elbows. So if you're in all fours position, it's a plank. Lift the belly, squeeze the butt. If you're gonna walk the hands forward, pelvis forward is more resistance, right? Curl the toes up. Everybody's still holding a plank. Push yourself away from the floor, whether you're on the elbows or with the hands. Open up the scapulas. Dina, belly up, Dina, belly up, come on. Lift your belly more, higher, higher, or be on your knees. So you're like this. I need, tuck your pelvis and lift. Lift the belly, please. The belly, you're still arched. You're still arched. Everybody else looks good. Good, good. Lift your lower ribs to the ceiling, everybody. Lower ribs, lift it to the ceiling. Yes. Come on, 5 seconds, 5 seconds. Belly up, Dina, you're still arching. Yes. Knees down, stretch back. About a minute. If you need to relax your wrists, here we go. Okay, back into an all fours position, or if you're on your elbows and you have blocks, I prefer you at this level. If you need to be lower, that's fine. Okay, so if you have blocks, you can be at this level, or you're here. Spread, open up your fingers and spread them. When your hands are on the ground, I need the thumb all the way to the pinky to be pressing. Make sure that your knuckles, these are pressing, and the tips of the fingers, yeah? So we're all well anchored. Sternum drops. Drop your chest down, squeezing the scapula, and push yourself back up. So what I want to happen is to see the glide of the scapula this way. So if I was on fours, all I want to see is this. I don't want to see this. Yeah, it's not a spinal movement, it's a scapular movement. So you're gonna pull the shoulders away from the ears, let your chest drop down and the scapulas glide back. Then press into all tips of the fingers and knuckles, push away from the floor so you round. Notice my spine doesn't move. I'm dropping the chest so the scapulas squeeze together. I'm pushing my hands down and away from the mat so my scapulas open up. Keep your body nice and long, tailbone reaching back, crown of the head reaching forward, and glide the scapulas up and down. Make sure that your hands are gripped. If you're on your elbows, it's the same. Drop the chest, dig into the elbows, push. Like I said, hopefully you have blocks to be a little higher, because here it's a little more challenging at this angle. It's doable. Keep your head straight. Keep your tailbone back. The head doesn't move. It's not a cat-cow. It's not cat-cow, it's just sternum, the chest bone drops. It's a scapular glide. When you're done with this last one, push back and stretch. Roll the wrists. Okay, we're gonna go back up. So if you need to stretch the wrist, stretch. Yeah, fingers down, pull very gently, reaching. We're gonna do tricep push-ups, okay? Feel free to be on your knees and in the same position you were. Now that we did the sternum drops, we know where the scapula needs to be. So push away from your, okay, I'm gonna show you guys. I'll get cold to show you scapula. All right, so we need to round the scapulas around the ribs, right? So you're here, round. Pull the scapulas out to the side of the ribs. So shoulders down, push, there's my scapula. Not hanging out here, right? Push. Now from this position, knees can be where they are. I just need you to bend the elbows slightly back, okay? Notice that my chest came forward, right? So if you wanna go straight down, that's fine. If your chest comes straight forward, see how my pelvis, then it's a lot more work. You decide, but what do I want? I don't want the chest to collapse and then you do this. So we were doing the sternum drops. This is what was happening, right? We don't want this to happen when you come down. You open the scapulas. When you bend the elbows, you want to keep them open. Can you see that? Can you guys see that? Okay, so open scapulas, bend the elbows, come down without losing the scapula, right? So push, keep the scapulas wide, don't collapse the chest forward. Try to do anywhere from 6 to 10. I need your core, yeah? So I don't want this. Lift the abdominals, tailbone back. Belly up, Dina. More. Nice. Shoulders, push, shoulders down, and either come forward for more work or come straight down. Nice, that's it. Very nice. So if you're holding plank on the elbows, you can keep doing that. And then when you're done with about 6 to 10, stretch back. And reach. And here, roll the wrists again. So when you roll the wrist, you should feel the forearm get tight. Because I have good light, you guys can see. Feel the forearms get tight, tight. Make a fist, pull. You can also roll the wrists and you can also stretch them. Huh? Good. All right. So we're gonna go into wide push-ups. Wide push-ups, not here. This is narrow what we did, yeah? Wide is 45 degrees. So when you come down, I wanna see your elbows go at this about 45-degree angle. Whatever you do, don't do this. If you wanna go back to tricep push-ups, be my guest, it's harder, right? So we're gonna be at a 45-degree angle. The hands don't change, except you can make them a little bit wider. So if you want your hands to be a little wider, fine. Watch that the fingers are forward. If it bothers your wrist, change the position of the wrist a little bit. If you're on your elbows, just hold a plank on the elbow again. So hands slightly wider. Same idea. So let's do the sternum drop. Do the sternum drop, push, push, push. Now when you bend the elbows, it's gonna go to a 45 degrees. Okay, so let me show you this one first. 45 degrees, and then you push. You're trying to keep the shoulders, the scapulas, and the elbows wide. And again, you can pick to go forward harder, or you can go straight down a little bit easier. But what you're trying to do is not to collapse the scapula, the chest, or the back and the abs. So keep the belly lifted and the tailbone back. Bend the elbows to that 45-degree and push. You don't need to go all the way down. Bend as much as you keep scapulas opening up. Elbows go out to the side, Fatima. Yes. Nice, that's it, Sana. Good, Rania, good. Push. So if your wrists do hurt a lot, if you're not holding plank, your hands can be slightly in front of you, yeah? Your hands can be slightly in front of you, so you don't have as much flexion on the wrist. And you can also put your something under the wrist so they're slightly raised, so when you go up and down, there's not much of this, right? Sorry, it's extension of the wrist. Good, finish another 6 to 10, nice and wide. Go forward, keep the scapulas as wide as you can. Keep the bottom ribs up, belly up to the ceiling, opening the scapulas and the shoulders. When you're done, stretch back. So when you're done, I want you to do this. Stretch back, reach the arms forward. You're gonna do 5 breaths here. Move the arms to one side, 5 breaths, and then to the other side. Keep stretching. The video here, so you guys can see. So 5 breaths, arms reaching forward. Then go to the right. All right. Did you stretch both sides? Yeah. Excellent. Okay, back on our belly. So go straight down and we're gonna go into swan. So back here, hands next to your shoulders. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little different today. Really bring your hands down. So your elbows are gonna be slightly up, right? Legs again, hip width, wider if you need to, together if you have that flexibility. Press the legs down, lift the abdominals, lengthen the tailbone. You can see the positioning of my back. Arms as far down as you can, squeeze the scapulas. Squeeze. So of course, if you cannot do it with the hands here, bring it forward and squeeze the scapulas back. The tip of your scapula should be holding an orange. Now, lift the belly off the ground, lengthen the tailbone, press into the hand, shift the chest forward and up. Just the upper ribs. So your lower ribs are on the mat, come back down. Bring the hands as far down as you can, squeeze the scapulas. Breathe out, belly in, lift. The ribs are down and the tailbone is lengthening and down. So this hand position kind of stops you from going further, right? Squeeze scapulas and keep going. So here, pull the shoulders down, squeeze the scapulas, abs lifted, tailbone lengthening, come up. That's it, okay? And down. I don't know if you can see it from the back, I'll try. So shoulders wide, hands as low as you can, squeeze the scapulas, lift the abdominal, lengthen the tailbone, come up. Okay, lower ribs are on the mat. So pull the belly, lengthen tailbone, shoulders down, squeeze the orange, lift. If you want to take the hands off the ground, you can, to make sure you're not supporting your back extension from the hands. Bring it back down, come back down. Good, give me 3 more. Keep them. Huh? So squeeze the scapulus, lower your elbows down as much as you can. Yeah. You can't what? Legs down. Legs cannot come up. Legs down, legs down. Come up if you can, it's okay. If you want, it doesn't bother your low back. Nice, ladies. Lift the belly, lengthen the tailbone. Don't come up from that low back. You're coming up from the upper back. So I need these lower ribs to stay on the mat. Good, 1 or 2 more. Don't come up through the low back. Elbows in, please. Elbows and scapulas in. Elbows in, Dina. Yes. Elbows in. We're not opening the elbows. Nice, Grania, that looks good. Good, Fatima. Good, Mona. Mona, I feel like you're dropping your low back. Your low back is not being supported with your abs. So lift the belly off the mat, lengthen the tailbone. Tuck your tailbone, pubic bone is on the mat. And come up just from that upper back. Yeah, that looks super good. Good, when you're done, we have our last child pose to stretch. Or you can put your hands under the head to stretch, to breathe. Otherwise, toes together, knees apart. Now, before you come all the way down, just push your butt to the heels. Push the butt. Keep pushing. Walk your hands and push. When your sit bones reach the heel, keep pushing for the low back to arch. Round. And then you can keep it rounded. So I'm really using my mat to push myself back. Keep pushing. You don't have to go all the way down, yeah? But if you want to, don't let go of the butt to the heels. That's where the stretch is gonna be. And breathe into your back. If you don't wanna use your arms, make a pillow with your heads, come down. You can support your forehead, bring the arms next to you and breathe. Good. And then roll yourself up nice and slow. If you're all the way on your heels, scoop the belly, come up nice and slow. Good, roll your shoulders back. And then pull one arm across the chest. So watch the shoulders, it goes down first, keep it down, and then you pull the arm, pull the scapula and stretch. You can sit anywhere that's comfortable for you. Feel free to sit with your legs crossed. Pull a little more, bring the scapula with you. Other arm, shoulder down, pull. Pull a little more. And release, good. I'm not gonna stretch anything else. But if you feel like you need to continue stretching, if you want to do your triceps, you can bring your hand up, lift, bring it back. Okay, you can also bind your arms if you have that. This way. Stretch here for 3 to 5 breaths. So elbow and arm to ceiling, the other one pulls down. Try not to arch your back to do this, yeah? Whenever you're ready, you switch. So lift, pull the arm back as much as you can. And if you want to bind it, doesn't go on this side. The shoulder's too tight. I can't bind it. Stretch there. Good. And release. I'm just going to stop the recording. Bye.